problem with my ear. I have a problem with my ear, which made my jaw swell for the past 3 days. I couldn't speak very well because my face was swollen, my jaw was swollen. But today, when I saw him, I think he's suffering from fever or something.
Mhm. Today, we are still on resource. First, Monday was about cost. Is that right? And today, we'll talk about a different resource, not cost, but material. Rafael, have you any question about cost, assignments, or any question about using cost in your projects?
No.
And Joseph, could you pay attention to your exercise, or were you so bad you could not even look into it?
So I looked at my assignments. I actually did it and then I submitted it.
No questions, I mean, no strong question about dealing with the course assignments.
So for now, we are okay.
Have you heard Mamani's complain about it? Okay, we are almost 5 o'clock and Mamani is not joining us today. So you may start. Okay, now it's recorded. Material, as well as cost components, has a component and it has also a center. There is another specific set of information called material sets. I'm not sure if you must get into material set conception, but anyway, material components is the smallest component. This is the smallest part of an assignment that you can include material consumption or material income. I have not talked to you last meeting, but costs may be spent, but costs may be received as funding, as input, as resource into your projects. You're just analyzing consumption, cost consumption, material consumption, and next Monday, resource, labor, and equipment consumption. Material components are under material center, but material sets is a composition of different materials that comes into a definition. How would you say? Set an amount of specific material that compounds a material set. I will talk about graph and GANs and another interesting view in web dashboards. Just remembering, schedule and material management is not the same thing as to say I'm planning my work. Schedule plus my cost management plus my material management doesn't mean planning at all. But planning is a set of managements, not just scheduling or specific material or cost management alone. They must be together in order to have a complete vision, a complete way, understand of what is going to happen on your projects. Schedule refers to time, costs refers to money, and material refers to what are going to use. Money to material, material to activity. I pictures just 3 windows here to remember me to tell you that material has a data definition, and as material are not free, we must assign costs into material. When you assign material into your project, into your activities, you are also assigning costs into your activities, into your projects. So I will change into Spider. Can you see my Spider screen here?
Yes.
Yes. Properties. Just to finish it. Resource, materials. Okay. Imagine I have a specific material. That's what I mentioned. That's why I mentioned water at our at our initial conversation. I intend to use water. 3 different ways of using water in our activity. The first way is, where is it? Water. When we use water at the beginning of activity, imagine you have an activity and you have to use water just at the beginning. Imagine before working, I will wash the place. Just imagine that. I will clean the place with a lot of water. Some kind of use that I have to schedule, I have to assign water immediately at the beginning of our work. Number 1, I made a type here, type number 1. Number 2, if you use water during our process. And number 3, we have to use water after finishing. Just imagine, to do something, I have to first wash the place. I will spend this material, water, at the first place. And then during the process, during the work of our activities, we are going to spend water hour by hour, day by day. And at the finish of our work, we are going to just finish. I mean, after finish everything, I will clean or wash it again. And I will use water because I think it's easier to understand the way assigned materials could be worthy for your project, for our projects. And the schedule is completed here. I made some linkings to make a net, and there are some activities they may be set together, may plan together, and some others that may be produced before and after other activities. View, menu view, material, and you will choose material table. If you are in the system window, you may look for in right screen, right panel, and look for material, and you see materials, material centers, where material will be joined together, material sets, that's a set of a certain amount of specific materials, and material periods. We won't talk about material periods on this training. And material assignments, because if you assign a material into an activity, you may see all the assignments in order to make easy to detach or to find some specific amount of material to be used. Materials, open, and you see a specific window for including materials in a table. You may use inserts as well as cost components, but material components, if you include a specific material, I made water local, the water you buy locally, water imported, I mean, you have to ask for for water supply and potable or drinking water. I may say drinking. There's a difference between assigning drinking water or water. Drinking water is for people, huh? And water is for process of washing something. Double click on the components line. You see, of course, the name, your codes, and the units, which is, what is the unit of water? I may say a liter. Is that right? Liter. Rafael, liter is liter.
Yes, it's liter. It's liter, but the spelling is Litre.
Oh, liter. Okay, liter. And type is a particular classification ones. But pay attention, name, codes, unit, discrete duration, the consumption. Discrete consumption means that one accepts half liter, or you assign a liter, or you assign 2 liters, not 1.5 liter. So I may set discrete consumption here. I won't do it. If you set discrete consumption, you may also say backload consumption. Instead of say 1.5 liters, you have 2 liters. I mean, not partial, not fragmented consumption, but a whole unit itself. Decimals, you may choose for the default 2 decimals or no decimal place. The first tab here, the first line means the documentation of a local imported drinking water. Of course, each material has its own code. Please be careful not to let CDA create a code for material, a Unicode for your material, not to be confused with other projects or other components here. First step, first window, the identification of your material. And the second and also important one is cost components. Cost components, material, local material may be paid in Ghana cedis or in dollar. Imported material, local water may be paid in Ghana. You have to choose the components here, the cost components. Now, I have not set any cost components, just to concentrate on our material table. Here, codes, different codes for different materials. So first, double click on line, head of the line, data, cost component data, and other information. We are not going to cover these other components in our training, not for this scheduling, planning work. But I mean, I made all the water in a different way. And when I asked for code a material center table view, material center control. Okay, control. I have a material center. And if I look for the window of material, we'll see the 2 windows together. On the left, the material components. On the right, the center. Of course, water is water in which way you classify it. Double click on head of material center line, you see water general water codes, match center. Includes material consumptions, of course, or includes material income. So the centers may have what you spend and what you receive, the consumption of your material and the receiving the income of your material. If you have water locally, buying locally, or if you have water importance, or even being, if it includes water to drink, every material here means water. So material center water will concentrate, will sum all the quantities, all the amount of liters. According to Joseph, liter, and liter. Okay. If you set a material center, not only coding it and informing that you just want to see what is consumed or what has income, or both, you may set the elements that will compound the center. Drinking, imported local adds from material component table, which components will add to your center. Of course, here I have just 3 materials, not concrete, not iron here, because it's a water material center. You just imported these 3 components here. Adding the components will fill the material center. The same as you call here the cost components control menu and view cost center. Cost center on the left top window. Cost components on the right. Cost components, double click, information units, and all the information of the cost component here. And cost center, inside the cost center, includes material consumption. I don't understand, if we're talking about cost center, why should I set material consumptions or material income? Because you may have a cost center that just keep the cost components, money, just money, not the cost of materials used in our projects. You may have a cost center that summarizes every kind, every sort of costs, or just costs means the currency or the amount of money, not really, not referring to resource labor costs or material costs. If you want to include material, okay, the center cost will include all the costs assigned to activities and also the costs assigned to the materials used. That's interesting when you want to make a model. You'd like to see, you want to see the costs and the material costs and every cost together. Okay, it was clear for you, or was too confused? Thumbs up?
It's all okay.
Okay, I will close cost windows. concentrating into material center and materials. Where is material center? Here. So if you create your material table, you also codify it, says the way you want to make an accountability of your use, discrete or not, and we'll talk later about cost components of these materials. You may assign these material to your activities. I have prepared some layouts to make it easier or quick, not to create a layout during our meeting. I made a layout about imported, the type one I created here. As we have 400 square meters to set up irrigation or some kind of thing, I assign 4,000 liters just to wash everything. As I will wash everything at the very first time, okay, double click, activity line 4, and look for materials. I will add a specific material. In this case, I'm using imported water. I could also add drinking water. Drinking water. Imported drinking. Imported drinking. I'm using two kind of water here. But of course, I won't use drinking water. Okay, I will just use imported water. I have assigned imported water for line 9, line 5, 6. If you cancel filter here, you will see, or you will be able to see all the activities. But some activities use water just at the beginning. So I will filter by layouts, and I will see just the activities that use water at the very beginning. And then, as I told you, double click on line 4, and you see material. I add imported water and consumption fixed. Consumption fixed 4,000 liters. Consumption per hour that I use water every hour. If the process needs water during the construction process, you will may model not only at how many liters I consumed at the first place, that's what we get here, and using water by hour. But even if I'm producing 400 square meters, I could say I will use 100 liters for each square meter. If I have 400 square meters and I use 100 liters each square meter, I will have 400 plus 100 liters. I'm not using just 4 liters for the whole process. I'm using 400 meters for the whole process, and also 100 meters for thousands, and I use 100 liters for each square meters I will produce. In this case, just 4,000 liters, 4,000 liters for the whole process. And I will use just at the beginning. Beginning means a profile. Let me amplify this. I have a zoom here. You understand? Profile is the same as the cost components. Here, you have something apart, separate from something. And there is a dot column here, dot comma here. That means that you are going to use 4,000 liters at the very first beginning, and nothing during the process. And at the end, you will spend nothing. If you want to see it in details, it's not the case, but I make a diagram here, trying to show you these 1, 2, 3, 4 days. I will make material imported, moving to the right, like the cost components, and not cumulative. Every day, I hope we will see choosing the parameters as a day, okay? You see setting show value day by day. Day 1, day 2, 3, 4. The first day, 4,000 liters, 4,000 liters. And the other days, no consumption. If you divide this day into hours, parameters, hours, you see, I increase the scale, 4,000 liters at the very first hour. Second hour, third hour, we won't have water consumption. That's the way we use profile. Instead of saying 4,000, I say I use 2,000, dot comma 2,000, and calculate again. We will see the first half at the very beginning and the second half at the very last time of our work. Okay, there is a different way of distributing it, but in our case, we are going to wash everything at the very first start. Fixed importance by volume, units, consumption, by hour consumption. I made this layout just to show that we may, I visit, we made assignments according to our model. Fixed, like cost fixed, costs or material by volume produced or to be produced, and by hour of production. This is number one. Number one means I will use everything at the very first beginning. Number two is for using the local water, the water we have at the place we have. We are not have any kind of outside supplier. And number two, if I can sell the filter, I will see everything. But this layout was made just to concentrate on our activities, double click, that have materials local, just for local water. But instead of assigning fixed consumption, just for illustration, I assign 20 liters by hour. 20 liters by hour means if I have a duration here, duration, remain, duration, hours remain. If I have 64 hours of work, not 80 volts, but 64 hours work, and I use 20 liters every hour, I think multiplying 20 with 20 plus 64, I will have the amount of water consumed by this activity. Of course, I could also have water by hour, water fixed, or water by units produced. Units production. Layout number 3, I have made this potable water. Not found. Okay. Double click. Material. Instead of using fixed at the beginning, I set it fixed at the end. Just to make a difference for our example here. I think there's another one. No, as you saw, I'm not using water per volume, but it's the same way of assigning. Double click on the header line, select the material once, include the material. I'm just using one material for an activity, but you could use different materials to have a complete scenario. You saw that every layout has a graphic at the bottom of it. I've just made this graphic to show that this layout just shows you imported water. You use it at the very first beginning, and you can see it by month, by week, by day, by hour, exactly as I think we have made in cost components. Did you use it during your exercise? Joseph, Mamani, and Rafael producing some graphics here, a histogram to see how much money you're going to use. Joseph, okay. Mamani, okay. Okay. Rafael, not yet. You don't want to see the money you're going to spend. Because you have no money problem on your projects. Okay, I made a last layout here. All water. All water means all water. Code C, because I have changed the material codes. Where is material? Material here. C, I have changed the codes of our material. And the graph is referring to code C, not my new codes. My new codes I changed. Okay, let's go to all water. Okay, all water. I made 3 graphs. They are you can see now all the activities. I have not filtered any activity. They are all here. I have the fields remaining, a show column, material, drinking, imported, local, remaining, not fixed, not per hour. If I showed fixed per hour performed, I could sum all of them and check that the remaining means the sum of fixed with per hour and per volume units together. but I made specific layouts for each of them. And this last layout is to show you how the amount of water you have in imported, local and drinking. If you look into our columns, you see this activity has some imported water, but no local, no drinking. This one has just drinking water. No activity has more than one water assigned, but they could assign more than one water type for our model here. But I want to show this layout because the graphics. I made a stack graphic here, settings, to show imported, local, portable, with their values at the same time. So the week will consume different types of water during the process. Here, I made it by week. On the graph at above, I made it by general water. General water means not the components, but the center. Parameters, the center, material center, general water, not cumulative. So I can understand how many, the amount of water I will use every month. 13,000, 24,000. On March, I will just use 400 liters. Imagine if I have to store it at the site, the size of my storage may be able to, imagine if you are going to mix all the water together, okay? If we're going to mix everything together, 31,000 liters, not 2,224, 10,000 liters. We must be able to store on February this amount of water. So I made a graph for this material center. I made a graph for components, material components in a stacked way. And this one here is imported, local, portable. The columns I had here are being shown here by a cumulative way, not discrete one. Cumulative. We start with 13,000 and we finish with 50,000 imported water, 6,000 local water, and 22,000 potable water. And the general, I have not made a general cumulative. I made a discrete one. But if I decide to show you how many liters cumulative, you finish with 79,000 liters. That's the idea with this layout. I cannot only assign materials to each activity, assign different or a set of materials for each activity in each layout, or you may have a complete display, use display of material, totalizing water here, and showing on a profile way the use of water during the project life cycle. That was clear? Not confusing you? Okay. Well, as we finish assign material, as we define materials, as well we define material center, it should be interesting to apply how much each water costs, how much each material costs, in order to see the cost impact on our projects. If I ask for costs here, I will erase everything. Okay, show column cost component, that's just one the full cost components. No, I will calculate the projects, I will calculate money, no cost. It's not real, okay? I will close this version and I will open second version. I have prepared to save time. Imported. The same amount of water applied or assigned to activity, the same graphic, imported, local, portable, just the amount of, the quantity of material. All water together, as we have talked, but now all costs, because when I look for material or spill materials, double click, I will say, I will define water local costs in Ghana cedis. The liter will cost 3.01 Ghana cedis, not dollar, because before assigning costs, I must define cost components, like we did on Monday. Dollar cost means $1. The unity here is $1. And Ghana cents is the rate referring to the dollar. So with these two components defined, I can go back to materials and say, and define. Local water means local currency, means 3 Ghana cedis for each liter. Imported means 1.2 Ghana cedis and $0.8 for each liter. That means that you can have a material compounded by two different cost components. If dollar increases its value, it will have an effect on your project costs. If Ghana cedis suffer from inflation, it will have an impact on your projects, specifically because water imported. And portable means that you pay in Ghana cedis, 4 Ghana cedis for each liter. Portable, 4. Local water, 3. I mean that potable water must be more expensive than just water. Water used for washing, cleaning, not for drinking. Okay, that sounds reasonable to you?
Yes, please.
Okay, as we define the cost components for each material, we may go back to our project and say, we know how many liters we are going to use in every activity, in every deliverable, everything. Now, let's take a look into our costs. Total cost dollar, cost Ghana cedis. I'm using remaining because remaining keeps all the dollar and all the Ghana cedis quantity at the same column. It was calculated by scheduling, calculating, and then money and material calculation. Please take a look. Dollar cost, Ghana cedis cost. I not only have the amount of water you use, but also the cost of feed. I have not applied any costs to our activity. I mean, this activity has some waters during its process, but also it has some money in dollar fixed. I will spend how many dollars I will spend to do or to pay for an authorization for a license. $100, $200, $500. That is our Monday meeting. We are making some material assignments after Monday meeting. Monday meeting. Monday meeting means Monday assignments. They come together, but I'm not fixing any money to our activity here. But if I did it, if I do it and calculate again, you see that this information will change here. Calculating money, $10,000 came into $11,000. If I raise it and calculate it again, comes back to $10,000. I'm not saying that you cannot assign money and material at the same time. I'm just applying material here to detach, to make more visible the cost effects on our projects. You may have costs because your money applying or because the material assigned to it, to the projects. The bottom graph means the cost in dollar and cents, gonna cents. Parameters, cost components, dollar and gonna cents. I mean, cost dollar and cost gonna cents is the result of all the costs you have here. As I don't have any specific money assignments, we are just seeing the costs because of our materials, not all the projects. And they are actual current costs because this graph here, you are using total cost. What does total cost? Because I have cost components, cost dollar and Ghana cents, and cost center means all the costs together. Let's see view, cost center. Right click, control click, double click on cost center. Participants means cost dollar, cost Ghana cents. Data include materials consumptions, include this cost center is not only for costs. Cost means cost components. It also includes the spends on your materials. Materials. Which materials? All materials. All materials. Oh, sorry, all materials. If it were not all materials, if you have not set all materials, you should add the materials you want, the assignment materials you want to include in your cost center. But by default, I use all materials. Imagine you want a cost center, total cost without materials, okay? Total cost without materials. No participants, I would delete all, or do not include anyone. But as I want all the costs of my projects, I must include all materials consumption, all materials consumption, need not to define because they all materials. And the total cost for the project means every cost, or total cost without material. Double click. Do not include. Do not include. No participants. Okay, includes cost dollar and cost again cents. Okay. The total cost is the sum of all costs, and total cost without material means just cost about cost components applied. If I recalculate, reschedule, calculate everything again, but instead of having total costs, I will make a new graph here. Properties, report, diagram, cost center, total cost without material. Okay? Cumulative? No cumulative. Okay? Okay. I'll move this graph. Click and hold and bring it to here. There is no total cost without material because we just have materials costs. As I told you, if I show my cost dollar fixed by hour fixed, I would go here, I would apply here 2,000 or 2,000, 1,000, 2,000, $5,000. Recalculate. You will see the amount of cost increases because I have material costs and money cost component specifically applied, and just the money I applied to the activities without cost material. It's not on month here. I will change the scale period for month. Okay, I will make some numbering. 8,000, $8,000, and of course, not $12,000. If I delete the cost components applied and recalculate, 20 came into 12. Oh, it's okay for you? The difference between assign cost components and assign material with cost components? Okay. This graph here is for total cost, not total cost month by month. It's a total cost cumulative here. Okay, that's the graph. It should be, Rafael, Mamani, just a S curve, but it's not an S, of course. It's not a real project, so the steps I made here did not define a S curve. But anyway, all costs, material costs, and this graph here just total cost without material. I made it for the project, but I could make it for the phase diagram, general diagram, total cost, and total cost without at the same time. Okay. This is just for, oh, well, I change it. Histogram, a column, okay, values, 20, 200. No, it's not every day. By weeks. That means phase one, I have to document it here, settings. Phase one, okay, phase one has this cost profile. H2E, well, phase one, yes. Phase one has three activities, and this is the profile cost performance. With materials or without materials? With materials, I apply 100, 300, 2,000, 1220, 12,000. Calculating. This space has half a month, 4 weeks, 4 weeks? Yes, 4 weeks. Total cost, including materials and money, just money, and also could show here just materials, cost because materials, cost because cost components, and the amount of money together. So when you define material table, you may assign materials to your activities, and automatically its costs will come into your reality, into your account, and into your graphics or table. We have talked a lot about graphics. We have not talked about tables, but I will make some example here. Phase 1, reporting diagram, general table, table reports. I will do the same thing at total cost without, total cost center, total cost without, not cumulative, as the graph shows us. And or is it by week? Yes, by week. Include, do not include the top. You may arrange it by yourself. Try it. Let's see here. Okay. Name, let's let it as it is. Ready. Here you see phase 1, and a week by week, I mean, 8 December, 15 December, 22nd, 1, 8, 15, 22. The 4 weeks with total cost and total cost without material. The same information having in a graphical way, you may have it on your table. Of course, we can export it or Excel. I think this table was the Russian Excel. You cannot make any formulas directly in its cells, but you may make formulas here. Okay, just to finish, let's go to the final version. That's just an illustration, okay? Just an illustration, because these will happen next Monday. Imagine you have cost components, cost dollar, cost in Ghana cedis, okay, components. You have a center, cost center, total costs, including materials, and you have materials, the water I told you. But now you have a resource. That's our next Monday theme. But imagine you have a resource A, double click on resource A, and this resource A still costs something. It costs for you as a salary or as a payment for its labor. But it also drinks water. This resource A drinking water. He used to drink 1 liter per hour. You can model it here. So resource A used to drink, everybody used to drink a liter by hour. And he used to take a wash at the end of the day, a shower. And he spends an amount of water. divided by 8 hours of work. Imagine, if he spends 100 liters in a shower, he's spending 12.5 liters per hour. So if you say that resource A, drink potable water and use water, when you apply workers at your projects, you are not just applying a worker. You are applying its costs because I have to pay for it. So the salary and the taxes will be applied too. Instead of having just total costs of your material, you are going to have your total cost of your material and your money from last Monday. And now, when you apply some resource A, you apply resource A and its costs in salaries, taxes, and consumptions. Because as he uses water, your water quantity will increase. Every hour he will work next Monday, the number of liters will increase. And the cost center will be affected because you have to pay resource A's salary, taxes. And as he uses water, the water increases in the whole amount. But the water must be bad. So you increase the quantity of water, you increase the cost center because you have to pay for the water. Resource A has a type of consumption, but resource B, just drink imported water, just have a shower with imported water. That's more expensive than the local water. And he used to, okay, bye-bye, moment. And he used to drink 1 liter per hour as well as resource A. But remember, he is spending 15 liters per hour in his shower. There are differences between resource A and resource B. If you apply resource A next Monday into your projects, imported water will be changed. Local water, the same layout, will change. Potable water will change because there are people drinking potable water. Not all activities are using potable water, but also people assigned to activities are using potable water. All water will change its value. All costs will be changed, not only because the labor salary or the resource costs, but also because they are using some materials that also cost. I made a graph here to show total costs as well as the other version, but I made total costs including material blue. The current schedule, the current projects. And on this grayish color, the baseline, I said projects, properties. My baseline was version 2. Version 2 was the version without resources. Resource means labor resource, just material. Next Monday, when we start to apply resource, the use of water will change. The cost because water and because labor's payments will change it. So when we compare our actual schedule, our actual projects with the baseline one, you see that the total cost grayish one became the bluish one, higher. This graphic above is that I will talk to you next month, is the difference between this line and this one. The amount of money that differs from baseline actual cost, differing from baseline one. $20,000 because labor's payments and the water they drink and they use to clean themselves. It was clear for you, Joseph, Mamani, Rafael? Although we are not talking about labor resource, I want just to show you that when you apply cost, the cost appears. When you apply material, you can see the material consumption, material use, and also you can understand that when you apply resource, labor, or equipment resource, you can model it not only by its cost, but also its materials, consumption, referring to materials, and the model became richer because instead of applying Mr. Smith, applying the water Mrs. Smith drinks, applying some amount of water used to wash, you have just to apply Mr. Smith. Every other components, PPE, equipment, security equipment, PPE, uniforms, drinking or waters or any kind of accessories will come together, Mr. Smith, instead of assigning each component according to each other resource assignment you have. Don't you think it's more easy or more worthy to model Mamani and Joseph? Did you know that it could be possible to use it here with Spider?
No, I didn't know before.
And Rafael, did you know that it's possible to model in such an easy way? Imagine if you have Mr. Smith working for 10 days, you have to think about 10 days plus 8 hours means 80 hours. Drinking 1 liter per hour means I have to assign 80 liters of drink water, and drink water costs $1. I have to assign $80 for paying the water and assign the water he will drink. And my money is assigned, no, let's work for 12 days. I have to reassign 12 days to 120 hours, to 120 liters, and the dollars. It's possible, of course, it's possible, but in Spain, you say, Mr. Smith, he drinks, he uses, and you say, Mamanis, if you say that these boots will last for 800 hours, the boots of the Mr. Smith boots will finish in 800 hours. You have to refill. And your material map, material consumption map, will show you that you must replace Mr. Smith boots as a PPE, okay? I think it's more professional. If it's possible, if the computers can do it for you, let's computer do it. Let me see if I have anything to finish. Okay, I'm told about that. Okay, filling information. As I told you before, just not forget. Scheduling, cost management, not planning. Scheduling, material management, not, and even scheduling, cost management, and material management is not planning. I have to fill every step to say I have planned my projects. Until meeting number 6, we finish our schedule. I think next Monday we'll finish our planning, a CPM planning, because you know how it will happen. and the CPM plan, because we will show how money we need, how the amount of materials we need, and next Monday, the amount of resource, the labors, equipments we need, CPM. Then we are going to talk about feasible schedules, when we will understand, if you have enough resource to accomplish our project schedule. Okay? Now it's 6:15. I'd like to show you something different of our subjects. Do you have time? I think it will be not so so long. I have told you that consumption, that we are going to spend money, but the word income appears sometimes in our presentation here. I'd like to make a new. I will be back to our second version. That's the second version. And we talked a lot about, I will erase it. I will take the original version. Okay. Close all, close all, close all. No for all. I will open the second version again. Because we talked a lot about water being consumed. But imagine that instead of paying for this water, we use rainwater, the water that comes freely from the sky. I could include here a hammock, rain hammock, and the hammock is linked to something. Okay, the hammock is linked to the project start. And the hammock is linked to the finish, project finish. Finish. Hammock means type of hammock. DPH type hammock. I will reschedule. And then we have our hammock. But this hammock has something interesting. Double click. Material. Adds not water imported, water local, or potable water. I will add a different material. Water that falls from sky. Water that falls from sky. There is no cost component for this water, okay? Because it's it's free. It comes from the sky. And I double click on rain hammock, and I select material, and I add water that comes from sky. But during the day, we have 1 liter. Imagine just 1 liter per hour. No, daily we have a water rain collection system that collects the water from the rain and the storages. And our storage size is infinite. We're collecting 10 liters per hour. I think it's too few. 100 liters per hour. Okay? Hammock has a special calendar. Not commercial calendar, because the rains does not have a rest. it should be 24 hours a day, every day. Okay, imagine that we are working on Amazon forest that rains all the day, and we apply this schedule or this calendar, we reschedule, the number of duration hours increase during our projects. And as we added, I think we added, I added the material, rain, 100 liter per hour. I will decrease this capacity. We are able just to treat storage 10 liters per hour. Okay. But instead of saying, again, material, 10 liters, I say negative 10 liters. Okay, for you, Mamari and Joseph, Rafael, not less than, it's negative liters. Of course, I will make a graph here, reporting diagram, general diagram, material, rain, okay, rain, cumulative, cumulative. I will show it by weeks, raining all the week. Of course, if we have negative consumption, means that it's income. So you have 35,000 liters that comes into our project during our project life. And when we get general, I will push this graph to change it. So if instead of having month by month, I set the parameter for cumulative, 79 liters, dozen liters. I will delete this graph. I have 35 income and 79 outcome. If you balance these two amount of water, you have your storage level. But rain, hammer, material. Instead of keeping and processing just 10 liters by hour, we invested some system that can process and treat. If you have to treat rainwater, 100 liters per hour is too much. Okay, 50 liters per hour, not so intensive treatment. Okay, let's schedule again. Let's calculate costs and materials again. Please see that we have at the end of our projects 178,000 liters against spending just 8,000 liters. Instead of paying for water, we could use the rainwater also for drinking, not just for washing. Did you get the idea? Rafael, okay? Joseph too? Mamãe is still with us? Mamãe has left. Okay. As you know, we have cost components, material components, we have material centers. This is our material center general for water. But I will create another material center. H2O. Double click. I will make into account all the waters that goes and that comes in. Okay? If I I asked for a graph for the coming and out water. I right click on line 1, project line, report diagram, general reports and diagram of material center all. Just all. Cumulative, the water that comes out at the same time in accountability with the water that comes in. But remember that in this parameters window, I can say if it is coming in, I want to see it positive. I want to see it in a blue color. That is a positive quantity because coming in, the storage available, the materials available, I want to see it in blue or red, in green. So imagine here, I will change the parameter into month. The amount of rain that comes into my project site. And here's the amount of water that is used. I will make some adjust here to show value. 13,000 being consumed. 36,000 because in our storage because the rain. Don't have an amount of water that is not being used. We have a lot of water here that is not necessary for our work in our projects. So if I go to rain for a rain hammock and material, instead of paying for such a heavy treatment system, if I come back to 20 liters per hour, that must be much more cheaper. That's cheaper than this 50 liters per hour. I may calculate everything again. Oh, it's not a good idea. The amount of water will be okay on the first month, but on the second, the third, and I want to be able to have raining supplying my project, okay? Instead of using 20 liters per hour, I have to increase for 35 liters per hour. Calculating. Okay. With this, I'm not sure which exactly amount of water our treatment system must have. But anyway, Joseph, did you understand that the money you would spend with potable drinking water, imported water, local water, should be paid by this water treatment?
Yes. Sorry, yes. I understand.
Okay. Mamalis?
Mamani,
I came halfway, but I'll
Okay,
watch
okay.
the video and get it.
Rafael?
Yes.
Of course, it's a fiction. But imagine you can have material income and material consumption. And when you compare in a center, not in their specific components, but when you see it in a center, what comes in and what comes out may give you a cash flow, not a cash flow, a water flow. The consumption flow. And if you deal with the amount of water that you can treat every day, every hour, you can reach an optimum number of liters per hour. material, liters per hour. Okay. Calculating. And how much this water treatment system will cost? I don't know. But imagine. Considering the costs, considering the water cost, we have here total costs in dollar $55,000. If your water system or water treatment system costs $40,000, it is interesting because you won't spend more than you need. You can even you can make your company more green because you're not spending water because you're taking the rainwater. That's just an example to show you how we use income for material and outcome for material or consumption. The same way, Joseph, you may use it with money. The money here is being used, but you can have a hammock here. Instead of having rain, instead of having water income, forget water and say that the cost component is a money in dollar that you are receiving fixed or every hour, every week. And this money is less negative $60. So instead of coming rain or water, it's coming money. Fixed. Money fixed. Okay. I will delete this one, delete this other one. Total cost means total cost spent. I can make another cost center. So I will use the same dollar in, dollar out. Gonna set this in, gonna set out. Considering the expense I have with materials. If I ask for a new calculation. Okay, remember, if you have money in, it would be better to change the excess values. Show revenue as positive. Money comes in positive. Bring lot cost components. Our too much money. Not our costs. Sorry. Not our costs, but less 60,000 fixed. Fixed at the beginning, okay? Less 60,000 at the very beginning. You receive all the money at the first hour of your projects. You're receiving. Let's calculate. Okay, you receive it 6,000 and the money are being spent during time until you finish with your cash flow with about $4,000. Joseph, did you see what I've done? Is that okay? Is that okay? No money. Instead of having all the money at the first hour, I am having $500 every hour. But please pay attention. Every commercial hour. So our hammock, no, it's not raining. a raining hammock, but a funding hammock has a commercial covenant. I will pay you $100 each hour in order you pay your bills. Let's check it. Okay, you're having $100, and you finish with 3,000. Okay, I am giving you too much money. I will decrease its cost components for, I'll give you just $100 per hour. Okay, you will finish your projects in blue. Cash flow will be blue, no negative account in your bank, and you finish with $30,000 in your account. Okay, I won't give you too much money, so much money. I'll give you just $5, $50, $50 just per hour. Okay, it won't be enough. You will be able to pay your bills until February 2026, and we'll finish with your bank account negatively. So I give most a bit more generous and give you cost components, some money in dollar, and I will give you some money in Ghana service currency. By hour, I will give you 10, just 10, the same as the dollar, okay? And the cost center will make its job. I think it's not enough. Okay, I will amplify. I will increase Ghana set cost components to 50 Ghana cents. Let's calculate again. As not enough. Okay, I have to increase Ghana sets to 200. 200, okay, cost components, 200. No. $200. Okay, you will finish with just $500 in your account. So you see, you may model our direct work, or you may model our indirect work, and you may model financial or funding tasks, not continually during the time, but in milestones that shows when money monthly coming, when money specific dates coming to pay for your bills. What you're seeing here is the cost center that keeps all the money in and out together. There are different ways of doing this, but I think it's the simplest one. Okay, Rafael.
Max, I put 2 questions in the chat. Can you check, please?
The chat, okay, let's see where the chat is. Here, chat. Can I project water link to how many persons? Can I water link it to how many persons I put into an archive?
The construction of link the resource, not the people, to drink water. If I put more resource, if you gonna drink more water.
Yes. The more you assign people, the more water consuming will be shown to you. When you say, I have a resource that drinks another resource that use watches for himself another way. When you assign, when you increase the number of resources, the amount of water will be also increased automatically. When you include different resources, the amount of water or even other materials will be increased too. Is it okay for your answer?
Yeah, but how can I do this in Spider?
Linking the resource, the materials into the resource labor
Yeah,
next Monday.
all right.
I have just made an idea of the modeling way you can use. The second question is, can I put the price of the water depends? See, yes, but that is cost periods. That is material periods. The cost period means, Joseph, you have your cost components, meaning 15 or 10 Ghana cents for $1. But in cost periods, you say Ghana cents is now costing $10, 10 Ghana cents for $1. But next January, our central bank decided that our tax rate will be different. And next January, you will have 12 Ghana cents for $1. When you model it, your cost components, you say 10 Ghana cents for $1. And cost periods, you adjust, you set. You fix that next January, instead of 10, it will be 12 Ghana cents for $1. All your project will change from January until the end, not before January. Okay? It's for cost periods. Material periods. I am buying concrete or water. I buy water $1 per liter or 3 Ghana cents per liter. But we know that this price is not stable, and this price used to increase every month by 5%. So you go to material periods and you adjust and you set. Every month, water changes by 5% higher. Automatically, every month in your schedule will be adjusted to be 5% higher for this material. So material periods and cost periods won't be covered by our costs because the time we have. But according to a question, yes, you may forecast what is going to happen because you can model it. You can model inflation, you can model price increase, you can model crisis, you can model it. And you even can model the risk of its happening, but it's not covered. And despite being put this calculator together with a better amount, yes, I told you, I showed you that the amount of money or the amount of water would not fuel the projects because we are in CPM mode. CPM method means I want it now. And the rain, our water treatment system was not able to give so much water as we need. But imagine, if you schedule by resource constraints, Spider would say, okay, you have raining a water treatment system that gives you just 20 liters per hour. I will postpone every activity to the future, into the future. It will happen just when the water storage is complete. Okay, it continues raining and I will keep in water. but I won't start any activity until I have enough water to supply it. Spider can reschedule all the activities to the future according to the raining amount of water you treat. But it's not CPM. It's on next Friday. It's RCP, Resource Schedule Constraints. You have the schedule, you have your resource assignment, material assignment, cost assignment. You know how much money is coming into by funding. You know how many materials are coming into because your suppliers. You know how many resources you have because you know how many resources you have. And Spider in CPM shows you that you won't accomplish your project because you don't have money at the right moments, material at the right moments, and resource at the right moments. But if you press OCP button, it will delay. It will reschedule everything until you have money, material, and resource level available to accomplish your activities. There are two ways of scheduling. The CPM one, when you are rich and have everything, and the RCP one, when you are not rich or you are really resource constrained. I answered your second question, but I think it is not covered by this proposal. Joseph, any question on my money?
I'm okay.
Okay.
For now, no question.
Okay, your mission is to use your projects now, your schedule, and to include some materials you need. Just to have problem and say, I have a problem here, how I do it, okay? In order to practice how to make a table or call a material table components, material center components, and see how many materials are you going to use, how much will it cost, applying costs, not just a simple cost component, but try to fix 2 or 3 cost components into a material in order to see how it behaves and how it happens in your accountability. Okay? Mamani, do you think to be able to do that for next Monday? Mm-hmm. Just
Yeah.
a final question. Just a final question. My God. Have you ever thought working like that? Like with so many resources, so many features that you could use in your modeling, in your scheduling, in your planning? Thiago has told about it with you.
No, but I'm sure after this training, he will be handling more of that task to us to be handling.
Mhm. Mhm. I think when you know, when you get the knowledge that a project management tool can do such kind of thing, it's difficult to work with other project management tool that just sets costs, resource, some materials, cannot assign negative values in order to make a cash flow, a material storage flow, or if you have it, why using Excel to make such deal with information, okay? We are going to see you next Monday, but Telegram message are instantaneous. You may use whenever you want to, okay? Bye-bye, Mamani.
All right. Bye-bye, Marcus.
Bye-bye, Joseph.
Bye.
Joseph, stay safe. Go, keep you well.
Thank you.
With your health. Mamani is also a
Yeah,
bit
it's also
disturbed.
as well. Yeah.
Take some
Yeah,
medicine.
Okay.
Rafael, are you okay? Okay, Rafael's not here. Because it may be contagious. Everybody that's in this meeting may be contagious. Okay, ciao, ciao.